Beloved soul, pause for a moment and feel the atmosphere shifting around you. You are guided here by a celestial call that has been echoing through the unseen, drawing your spirit toward this very moment. Nothing about this encounter is casual. Nothing about this night is ordinary. Heaven has aligned your steps with precision because something long kept in silence is finally being released to you. That stirring in your chest, that quiet pressure behind your thoughts, that unexplainable pull to stay. It is not imagination. It is divine orchestration. A holy awakening has been unfolding inside you, the kind that signals the beginning of a breakthrough season. Your name has been whispered in places your feet have never touched. Angels have carried prayers you didn't have the strength to speak. And now, chosen one, the veil is parting. Tonight carries revelation. Tonight carries clarity. Tonight carries the kind of truth that rearranges destinies. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you." Those plans have been maturing in the shadows, waiting for the hour when your spirit would be ready to rise into destiny alignment. Take a slow breath. Let your heart open. What is coming is not just encouragement. It is not just comfort. It is a divine unveiling meant to ignite your purpose. You have walked through valleys that tried to silence your calling. You have endured nights that asked more of you than you could give. You have held on when surrender looked easier, and heaven saw all of it. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one moment of fear went unnoticed. You have been carried through the fire so you could emerge refined, awakened, and prepared for abundance that was always written for you. This message finds you because the time has come. Everything starts tonight, not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because the divine interval appointed for your personal transformation has finally arrived. Hear this with your spirit. What God is awakening in you will not be delayed, and what is being aligned around you will not be denied. And beloved, before we go deeper, if your heart already senses that heaven is speaking, remember to subscribe, like, and share. Not for numbers, but because every time this message reaches another chosen soul, the light expands and someone else finds strength to rise. Chosen one, hear me with the deepest part of your spirit. The weight you have carried lately has not been random pressure. It has been the mark of a soul entering a spiritual awakening so profound that even the atmosphere around you feels different. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way familiar places suddenly feel too small. The way old conversations no longer satisfy. The way your heart pulls you towards something greater even when your mind can't yet explain why. This is not restlessness. This is divine repositioning. You've been walking through a season that felt like a wilderness, where clarity seemed distant and answers felt hidden. But the wilderness is where God trains his chosen ones. It's where destiny alignment begins to take shape. Just as Joseph was shaped in silence before he carried influence, and as Ruth was guided step by step into unexpected favor, your journey has been preparing you for a chapter you couldn't have entered without the refinement of hardship. The tension you've felt is not a sign of collapse. It is the stretching of your spirit as heaven prepares you for elevation. There were moments when you questioned if you were falling behind, moments when financial stability slipped through your fingers, moments when relationships felt uncertain, moments when loneliness settled like a shadow across your days. But beloved, none of this was punishment. It was construction. God has been removing the wrong bricks so he can rebuild your foundation with truth, strength, and unshakable purpose. Spiritual blueprints take time, and yours is far more intricate than you realize. If you've been seeing repeating numbers, especially 7 or 777, understand this. Heaven uses patterns as confirmation. 7 is the number of completion, and your cycle of delay is coming to an end. If dreams have been more vivid, if your emotions have felt heightened, if your spirit keeps waking you at unusual hours, it's because the Holy Spirit is drawing you into a new realm of awareness. Destiny does not arrive quietly. It begins with stirrings that disrupt what is comfortable so you can step into what is called. And hear this clearly. The resistance you've faced is evidence of your value. The enemy does not wage war where there is no threat. The battles surrounding you have been because the breakthrough season ahead of you is carrying abundance that will shift the landscape of your life. What has tried to break you is actually the sign that you're stepping into territory you were born to occupy. Stay with this message, beloved. What comes next will unlock the deeper truth heaven has been waiting for you to hear. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit has been more sensitive lately. You've been feeling shifts before they happen, sensing conversations before they unfold, recognizing intentions without needing explanation. This is not overthinking. This is discernment being sharpened by God Himself. When heaven begins elevating someone, their inner vision awakens first. Your insight has been stretching because your next assignment requires eyes that see beyond the surface and a heart tuned to divine frequency. For so long, you've carried wounds that no one around you fully understood. The betrayal that broke you, the silence that bruised you, the disappointments that made you question your worth. But beloved, what looked like emotional collapse was the beginning of emotional healing. You weren't being emptied to stay empty. You were being cleared so God could pour revelation and strength into places where sorrow once lived. This is why your spirit craves peace now more than attention, purpose more than validation, truth more than flattery. Heaven has been maturing you for abundance. There is a pattern in your life that you may not have noticed. Every time you outgrow a season, discomfort rises. This discomfort isn't punishment, it's heaven signaling movement. Think of Abraham leaving the land he knew, guided only by God's promise, or Moses hearing the call before he saw the path. Divine purpose always whispers before it reveals itself, and that whisper is speaking to you now. You've been feeling a strange pull to release things that once felt essential. Friendships that used to anchor you now feel misaligned. Ambitions that once fueled you feel hollow. Dreams that once fit comfortably now feel too small. This is destiny alignment at work. God is removing fragments of your old identity because your next level requires a version of you that is whole, awakened, and unafraid of transformation. Do not misinterpret the loneliness you felt as abandonment. Loneliness often precedes promotion. When God isolates a chosen one, it is never to punish them. It is to protect the seeds He is planting. Seeds of personal transformation, seeds of spiritual awakening, seeds of the wealth mindset that will support the calling on your life, seeds of emotional restoration so you can carry what is coming without breaking under the weight of it. And beloved, there is something heaven needs you to understand. What's rising in you is stronger than what tried to stop you. You are stepping into a season where inner clarity will replace confusion, where divine timing will replace hesitation, where alignment will replace frustration. The path ahead is not forming by accident. It is forming because the Creator has spoken over your life, and His word does not return void. The next revelation is approaching. Stay with me. Chosen one, listen closely, because what you're stepping into now requires a deeper awareness than anything you've carried before. There has been a quiet war around your spirit, a tension you couldn't fully explain. Some days it felt like exhaustion for no reason. Other days, a strange heaviness would settle on you just when you began to feel hopeful. These were not random emotional shifts. They were indicators that heaven has been pulling you out of an old spiritual atmosphere. When God begins elevating a soul, everything that once clung to you starts losing its grip. You may have noticed your patience thinning in places where you once tolerated nonsense. That is not irritation. That is discernment rising. You might find yourself withdrawing from conversations that once entertained you. That is not moodiness. That is your spirit refusing what no longer feeds your destiny. growth rarely announces itself, but it always reveals itself through shifts in what your soul can endure. And right now, your soul is outgrowing everything that was meant only for the previous stage of your journey. There have been moments recently when you felt like something was being stripped away from you. Opportunities evaporated. Certain people grew distant. Doors that looked promising suddenly shut without explanation. But chosen one, not every loss is an attack. Some losses are divine strategy. When God sees you holding on to something beneath your calling, He makes sure it releases its hold, so you are free to rise without unnecessary weight. Heaven is cutting away what cannot follow you into your breakthrough season. This is why the familiar has felt foreign. This is why your heart aches for change even when your mind fears it. This is why your dreams have been filled with symbols, movement, transitions, new landscapes, new faces you've never met. God speaks through the subconscious long before He speaks through circumstance. These dreams are not random scenes. They are spiritual previews, revealing that your next chapter has already started forming in the unseen. And beloved, the quiet battles you fought recently, those moments when doubt tried to drag you down, when confusion clouded your clarity, when discouragement whispered that nothing would change. These were spiritual indicators of what's coming. The enemy always intensifies pressure when heaven is about to shift the ground under your feet. If your thoughts felt louder, if your emotions felt deeper, if your spirit felt stretched, it's because you are approaching a threshold that demands a renewed version of you. Some of you have been waking up with a strange sense of urgency, as if you need to prepare for something without knowing what it is. That urgency is divine. It is heaven accelerating your inner world so that your outer world can catch up to the timing of God. Personal transformation always begins in the unseen chambers of the heart. Before God changes your surroundings, He aligns your identity, your desires, your boundaries, your focus. This is why conversations feel different, why silence feels necessary, why solitude feels sacred. You're being prepared quietly, because what's ahead requires spiritual precision. And hear this with a steady heart. The pressure is proof of the promise. The tension is evidence of transition. What has felt like breaking has actually been shaping. God has been molding your mindset into one that can hold abundance without fear, wealth without corruption, influence without losing humility, elevation without forgetting the journey that crafted your strength. Pay attention to how your spirit reacts to certain people now. Pay attention to how your energy shifts in certain spaces. Pay attention to how your intuition alerts you before your mind understands why. These spiritual sensitivities are gifts, not burdens. They are signs of awakening. You're not imagining the changes. You're not overthinking the signals. You are unlocking a higher level of discernment because your next season requires wisdom you didn't need before. Stay close now. More is being revealed. Chosen one, there is something stirring around your life that has been building for years, something heaven has guarded even when you didn't realize it. You've walked through seasons where you felt unseen, overlooked, misjudged, or misunderstood, but none of that was wasted. Every moment in the shadows was developing a depth in you that superficial blessings could never produce. What you're carrying now is not ordinary. It's the result of refinement that only the chosen endure. And this is why the shaking around you has increased. God is clearing the path for the kind of breakthrough that leaves nothing the same. Lately, you may have felt like you're standing between two worlds. One foot in the life you've known, another stepping into a future that feels close but still unformed. That tension is divine. It's the space where destiny begins to germinate. When God is preparing you for elevation, He interrupts patterns you thought were permanent. He disrupts routines you outgrew without realizing. He unsettles atmospheres that once felt familiar because He's shifting your spirit towards something larger than your history. You might have noticed memories resurfacing, not to haunt you, but to heal you. Emotional echoes rising from old wounds, not to break you, but to release the last remnants of past pain. This is part of your emotional healing, the deep kind that frees you to step into abundance without dragging yesterday's shadows into tomorrow's assignment. You cannot carry bitterness into blessing. You cannot carry fear into purpose. You cannot carry insecurity into elevation. And so heaven has been doing surgery on your heart, quietly and consistently, even on the days when you felt numb or detached. And chosen one, be honest with yourself. Your intuition has been louder. You've sensed when someone's spirit was off, even if their words sounded right. You've felt when a space drained your energy, even if the environment looked peaceful. You've known when a connection was temporary, even if it offered comfort. This level of spiritual sensitivity is not accidental. It's God training your discernment because your next season requires eyes that see truth beneath appearances. Not everyone who looks supportive carries the right spirit. Not every opportunity that looks promising aligns with your destiny. Discernment is your shield now, and heaven has been sharpening it intentionally. There's another sign you may have overlooked, the sudden clarity in areas where you once felt confusion. One day the path looked foggy, the next you felt a quiet knowing, a subtle certainty. This is destiny, alignment unfolding. God rarely reveals the full plan at once. Instead, He drops understanding in layers, moments of revelation that settle into your soul like pieces of a divine puzzle. You're beginning to see the edges form. You're beginning to sense the direction your life is leaning toward. This is preparation, not coincidence. Even your body has been responding. The waves of fatigue that come out of nowhere, the bursts of energy at strange hours, the sudden need for stillness, these are physical reactions to spiritual transition. When heaven begins shifting your frequency, your body adjusts to the new rhythm. Pay attention to these indicators. They are not random. They testify that the transformation happening in you is real, active, and advancing. And beloved, I need you to understand this with a steady heart. Not everyone around you is meant to walk with you into what's coming. Elevation requires separation. Sometimes God removes people not because they're bad, but because they cannot breathe in the altitude He's calling you to. If you keep trying to carry everyone into your next season, you'll exhaust yourself before arrival. Some connections were only meant to escort you to the gate of destiny, not through it. Release them with grace. The subtle signs have been accumulating, the shifts in your desires, the recalibration of your priorities, the quiet hunger for deeper purpose, the yearning for a life aligned with divine intention. These aren't passing emotions. They are signals that the breakthrough season is approaching with a force you cannot measure. And though you cannot see the full picture, heaven has been orchestrating every detail with precision. Stay with me, chosen one. What is about to unfold will speak to the very core of why God called you. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer of your journey that heaven is ready for you to understand. A layer that explains why certain seasons felt impossible, why certain relationships collapsed without warning, why certain opportunities dissolved right when you thought breakthrough was near. These were not failures. These were divine interventions disguised as endings. God has been pulling you out of places that would have drained your purpose, out of patterns that would have weakened your spirit, out of timelines that would have delayed your destiny. You may not realize this yet, but every closed door was protecting you from stepping into something beneath your calling. Some environments looked promising, but heaven saw their hidden agendas. Some people appeared supportive, but their spirits were not aligned with your elevation. Some opportunities seemed perfect, but they were timed to trap you in cycles of stagnation. When God disrupts, it is because He sees what your eyes cannot. And chosen one, He has seen far beyond the surface of your circumstances. Have you noticed how your heart is no longer satisfied with shallow connections? People you once felt comfortable around now feel distant. Their conversations no longer resonate with the hunger in your spirit. You're craving truth, depth, authenticity, alignment. That shift is not emotional inconsistency. It is spiritual refinement. When God is preparing you for an assignment saturated with purpose, He detoxes your spirit from anything that dilutes your clarity. This hunger for higher things is evidence that heaven has been elevating your inner world long before the outer transformation begins. There have been moments when you felt like you were walking through life with invisible weight on your back, like you were carrying battles no one else understood, and you were. The chosen ones often fight wars in silence because their spirits sense danger before it appears. You've been navigating spiritual storms that would have shattered someone without your resilience. What you endured was not small. It shaped the strength you're about to walk in. Some storms came to expose what was fragile, but others came to reveal what was unbreakable inside of you. And chosen one, do you know why the opposition increased when you started dreaming again? Because the moment you began reaching for purpose, the atmosphere around you shifted. Destiny always attracts resistance. Not because you're weak, but because the blessing assigned to your life carries weight. Abundance is threatening to every force that survives on your stagnation. The enemy has always feared your awakening. He saw the potential in you long before you recognized it. The whispers of doubt, the waves of fear, the sudden discouragement, these were attempts to distract you from the unfolding truth. You're stepping into a calling that will break cycles, uplift others, and release light into places that have lived in darkness. Your sensitivity has been rising because heaven has been increasing your spiritual bandwidth. You feel things more intensely because you're tuning into frequencies most people ignore. You sense danger before it comes. You detect dishonesty beneath polite words. You recognize divine timing even in ordinary moments. This is not a burden. This is a mantle. The chosen walk with intuition sharpened by divine guidance. And you've been receiving downloads, ideas, visions, sudden clarity, not from coincidence, but from the eternal realm speaking directly to your purpose. Think about the sudden moments when your heart whispered, "Something is coming." Think about the random times you paused mid-thought, sensing a shift you couldn't explain. Think about the dreams that carried symbolism too precise to ignore. These are not emotional fragments. They are indicators that you've been stepping into spiritual maturity. Heaven has been aligning your internal compass so that when the door opens, a door uniquely designed for your calling, you will recognize it instantly. And beloved, let me tell you something that your spirit has known even when your mind doubted. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You have been in alignment this entire time. What felt like delay was heaven protecting you from stepping into abundance with a wounded heart. What felt like stagnation was God strengthening the foundation of your identity so that when influence comes, it does not crush you. What felt like loneliness was the refining fire preparing you for connections ordained, not convenient. You have been in transition for longer than you realize, and heaven has been guiding every step with precision. Something sacred is opening before you, and your spirit already feels the momentum building. Chosen one, there is a reason your soul has been searching for something you cannot yet name. It is because heaven has been whispering to you in ways that bypass ordinary understanding. You've started noticing subtle shifts in your environment, as if reality itself has been rearranging around you. The conversations you overhear feel strangely timed. The numbers on clocks catch your eye with uncanny precision. Random phrases strike your heart with unusual force. These signs are not coincidences. They are divine markers, guiding you toward the next dimension of your calling. You have been asking God for clarity, but clarity rarely comes as a full explanation. It comes as alignment, as moments where your spirit knows long before your mind catches up. And this is why your desires have changed. What once felt exciting now feels insufficient. What once held your attention now feels empty. You're no longer drawn to the noise that once filled your days because heaven has been tuning your spirit to a higher wavelength. This recalibration is the beginning of personal transformation, the kind that pulls you toward your divine purpose with an urgency you cannot shake. There have been nights when sleep felt impossible, not because of anxiety, but because something in your spirit refused to rest. You laid awake staring at the ceiling, wondering why your mind was so alert while the world around you slept. But chosen one, those were the hours when heaven was closest. Those were the moments when God was rearranging pieces of your destiny, preparing your heart for the elevation ahead. Many breakthroughs begin in silence, in those unexplainable awakenings when your soul feels suspended between what was and what is coming. You've also noticed a shift in how people respond to you, some drawn to your presence without understanding why, others suddenly uncomfortable around you without conflict or explanation. This is spiritual resonance. When your frequency rises, it exposes what is misaligned. Some individuals cannot remain close because their spirit is not ready for the light you're stepping into. Others stay only because God assigned them as pillars for your next season. Pay attention to those who bring peace, to those whose presence strengthens your spirit. They are markers of the environment heaven is building around you. And beloved, remember the moments when your heart felt strangely heavy, as if you were grieving a version of yourself you hadn't consciously let go of. That grief was not weakness, it was release. God has been peeling away layers of old identity, fear-based thinking, survival habits, the need to be understood by people who are never meant to interpret your calling. You've been shedding the weight of expectations you were never designed to carry. This internal shedding is why your chest feels lighter in certain moments, heavier in others. Transformation rarely moves in straight lines. It breathes, expands, contracts, deepens. During this process, your prayer life has quietly shifted too. You no longer pray from desperation, you pray from alignment. You no longer beg for answers, you ask for direction. You no longer plead for acceptance, you seek purpose. This is the evidence of spiritual awakening, the kind that turns pain into wisdom and uncertainty into faith. Heaven has been shaping your heart into a vessel capable of carrying abundance without losing humility, influence without losing compassion, and elevation without losing dependence on God. And chosen one, you've been sensing something else, an inner push to prepare, even though you don't yet know what for. The urge to organize your life, the impulse to clean your space, the sudden need to finish old tasks. These are spiritual instincts. When your spirit feels the approach of divine timing, it compels your body to get ready. Preparation is not always logical. Sometimes it is prophetic. Heaven aligns your outer world as a reflection of what your inner world is stepping into. If you've been feeling pulled toward solitude lately, understand this. Solitude is not isolation. It is separation for elevation. God is isolating your attention so He can pour into your spirit without interference. Destiny cannot be birthed in crowded rooms. It requires holy space. And heaven has been carving out that space in your life with intentional precision. Everything you have been sensing, every push, every pull, every sign, every discomfort, is part of a larger divine pattern forming around you. The breakthrough season is not approaching. It is unfolding right now, quietly but powerfully. Chosen one, there is a truth rising in your spirit that you may have been afraid to admit, even to yourself. Deep down, you know you're not who you used to be. Your thoughts feel different, your reactions feel different, your inner voice has grown louder, steadier, wiser. This inner evolution didn't happen overnight. It happened in the moments no one saw, when you were breaking quietly, praying silently, healing slowly, and rising steadily. And now, heaven is lifting the curtain on what all those hidden battles were preparing you for. You've been noticing how your intuition speaks faster than your logic. Before someone reveals their intentions, your spirit already feels the truth beneath their smile. Before an environment exposes its atmosphere, your chest tightens or relaxes as if it knows what your mind does not. This heightened awareness is not accidental. The Holy Spirit has been sharpening your perception because the next phase of your life will require discernment that cuts through illusions and sees into deeper realities. There have also been moments when you felt a surge of strength out of nowhere, a boldness rising from a place you didn't know existed. You found yourself speaking up when you used to stay silent, setting boundaries you once avoided, protecting your peace with a seriousness that surprises even you. This is not personality change. This is spiritual maturity. This is God reinforcing your identity so you can carry authority without apology. And beloved, think of the sudden emotional waves that came without warning. One day you felt grounded, the next you felt overwhelmed by memories you thought you had outgrown. That emotional resurfacing was not regression, it was release. Heaven brings old wounds to the surface only when it's time to uproot them for good. You have been shedding layers of pain that once shaped your decisions, peeling away patterns that once kept you small, loosening the grip of fears that once dictated your choices. Emotional healing is not linear, but every wave you endured carried you closer to wholeness. There is another sign that heaven has been preparing you, the quiet expectation that follows you through your days. Not anxiety, not fear, but a subtle anticipation, as if your spirit is listening for something, as if something is approaching. This anticipation is spiritual alignment. The same way Elijah sensed the rain long before the clouds formed, your spirit has sensed a shift long before your circumstances reflect it. Destiny always whispers before it knocks. Your relationship with time has been changing as well. You feel less attached to the past, less anxious about the future, and more anchored in the present. This is evidence that God has been rewiring your mindset into a wealth mindset, not just about finances, but about worth, identity, and purpose. Scarcity thinking is losing its grip on you. You're beginning to see yourself as God sees you, capable, chosen, equipped, and destined for abundance. And chosen one, perhaps the clearest sign of all has been your newfound intolerance for anything that dishonors your spirit. You no longer chase what drains you, no longer cling to what confuses you, no longer fight to prove your value to people who were never designed to carry you. This is liberation. Heaven has been cutting cords you didn't realize were holding you back. The loosening you've been feeling is not loss. It is deliverance. Some of your recent experiences have felt strangely symbolic, meeting certain people at the exact right moment, hearing phrases that echo your prayers, stumbling upon messages that address thoughts you never voiced aloud. This is how heaven orchestrates destiny alignment, not with loud announcements, but with quiet precision. Not with flashes of lightning, but with divine threading, weaving every moment into the tapestry of your purpose. And beloved, as your spirit has been rising, heaven has been watching with delight. You've passed tests that felt unbearable. You've survived storms designed to break you. You've overcome battles no one knew you were fighting. And now, all of heaven is leaning in, waiting for the moment when you step fully into the identity it has been crafting inside you. Chosen one, you've been walking through a season where everything familiar feels like it's dissolving. Not in chaos, but in quiet recalibration. Doors you thought would stay open forever have drifted shut. People you assumed would walk with you into the future have slowed their steps or disappeared altogether. And though part of you wondered if you did something wrong, heaven has been whispering that this unraveling is not destruction. It is divine sorting. When God is preparing a chosen soul for elevation, He separates the unnecessary from the essential with a precision only eternity understands. There is a refinement happening inside you that most will never recognize, because it is happening beneath the surface of your expression, deep in the architecture of your spirit. Your thoughts have become more intentional, your prayers more focused, your silence more meaningful. You no longer react from impulse, you respond from discernment. You no longer move from fear, you move from clarity. You no longer cling to what is leaving, you trust what is arriving. This is the sign of a soul being shaped for a higher assignment. Lately, you may have felt like you're standing at the edge of something. A new idea, a new chapter, a new identity. It's as if heaven has been pressing your spirit forward, even while your circumstances still look unchanged. That internal pressure is a spiritual sign. God always births a new season inside you before He reveals it around you. You feel the shift before you see the shift. You sense the transition before you step into the transition. Your spirit knows what your eyes have not caught up to yet. And beloved, notice how quickly your discernment has been expanding. You pick up on emotional tones in conversations that others overlook. You recognize spiritual residue in environments that appear harmless on the surface. You can sense when someone's motives are pure, even when their words are few. This heightened perception is not coincidence. It is preparation. Heaven cannot trust a mantle of influence to a heart that lacks clarity. You are being equipped to walk through spaces where wisdom is essential, where spiritual maturity is required, where alignment is everything. There have also been moments recently when your dreams carried unusual weight. Scenes of movement, of new environments, of people you've never met, of doors opening toward unfamiliar landscapes. These dreams are glimpses of destiny. They are not fantasies formed by the mind. They are blueprints being delivered to your spirit. God often reveals the future in symbols before He reveals it in steps. Pay attention to what your dreams magnify. They are speaking the language of your calling. And chosen one, you've been feeling a different kind of restlessness, the kind that doesn't drain you but energizes you. It feels like anticipation wrapped in uncertainty, like something within you is bracing for impact, but the impact is blessing, not harm. This sensation is heaven's way of preparing your nervous system for shift. Spiritual elevation often comes with physical signs, chills that appear without reason, sudden warmth in your chest, a trembling in your hands when revelation comes. These are signals that your body is responding to what your spirit already knows. You may have also noticed unexpected moments of peace, deep, unexplainable peace, right in the middle of circumstances that should have overwhelmed you. That peace is not denial. It is divine protection. God has placed a shield over your emotions because your breakthrough is too close for you to collapse under pressure. Peace is the confirmation that heaven is already working out details you haven't even prayed about yet. And beloved, let this settle into your bones. The isolation you endured was not emptiness. It was insulation. God has been guarding your spirit from distractions that would have diluted your focus, from voices that would have confused your direction, from attachments that would have hindered your expansion. You have been hidden for a reason. You have been quiet for a reason. You have been separated for a reason. Not because something was wrong with you, but because something extraordinary has been forming inside you. You are stepping into a realm where your presence will shift atmospheres, where your words will carry healing, where your decisions will unlock abundance, where your obedience will open doors your effort never could. Heaven has been preparing you for influence that is rooted in purity, power, and alignment. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit has been sensing a quiet pull toward deeper waters, a reason your heart has been leaning into silence even when the world around you keeps demanding noise. Heaven has been ushering you into a realm where clarity is born, not from effort, but from stillness. You've begun noticing how your thoughts slow down when you step away from distraction, how your breath steadies when you disconnect from the pressure to perform, how your inner world finally speaks when everything else fades into the background. This is not withdrawal. This is awakening. You felt a subtle rearranging inside you, as if your priorities are shifting without permission. What once thrilled you now feels empty. What once intimidated you now feels small. What once hurt you no longer holds the same power. This is evidence of inner expansion. Your spirit is outgrowing the containers that once held you, stretching beyond the limits that circumstances tried to enforce. Personal transformation always begins with internal stretching, and your soul has been expanding quietly, preparing to carry blessings that once would have overwhelmed you. There have been moments when you caught yourself looking at your own life from a higher vantage point, almost as if you were watching a storyline unfold from above. You were not dissociating, you were elevating. Heaven has been lifting your consciousness, granting you glimpses of who you are becoming. This higher awareness is why certain things no longer trigger you. It's why you move more intentionally. It's why you feel guided even when the path looks unfamiliar. The chosen do not walk by sight. They walk by a rhythm only the Spirit understands. And chosen one, reflect on how your courage has been rising in places where fear once ruled. The fear of starting, the fear of losing, the fear of speaking, the fear of failing, the fear of being seen. These fears used to wrap themselves around your ankles, holding you down with invisible force. But now, they crumble when confronted by the power awakening in you. This is not because the fear disappeared. It's because your identity is no longer built on it. Your courage didn't suddenly appear. It was buried beneath years of survival. Heaven has simply been digging it out. You've also been noticing signs in your daily path, small confirmations that appear too precisely timed to ignore. A sentence you overhear that speaks directly to your situation. A scripture that lands in your spirit with surgical accuracy. A stranger saying something that answers a question you never voiced aloud. These moments are threads of divine communication, evidence that the unseen realm is interacting with your journey. When heaven guides a chosen one, direction comes in layers, in whispers, in symbols, in alignment so seamless it feels supernatural because it is. Your emotional landscape has also been shifting in unexpected ways. There were days when your chest felt heavier for reasons you couldn't explain, followed by days when it felt strangely light, almost buoyant. That fluctuation was not instability, it was cleansing. God has been purifying your emotional well so that when abundance arrives, it does not land on fractured ground. Healing often comes disguised as heaviness because the weight of old pain must surface before it can leave you for good. And beloved, you may have wondered why your heart has been craving deeper connection and deeper honesty lately. It's because heaven has been aligning you with people who match your frequency. The shallow cannot walk with you anymore. The inconsistent cannot speak into your life anymore. The manipulative cannot stand near the light you are stepping into. You are being magnetized toward relationships built on truth, purity, spiritual resonance, and destiny alignment. God is preparing your circle for elevation, ensuring that the voices around you echo His intention for your life. There is another sign you've likely felt, the sudden urge to create, to build, to plan, to move, even if you don't know what the final form will look like. This compulsion is spiritual. When heaven releases a new assignment, the spirit feels it before the mind understands it. You've been sensing the blueprint before you've seen the structure. Trust this pull. It is not impulsiveness, it is activation. And chosen one, beneath all of these signs, there is a deeper truth emerging. You are being prepared to step into a chapter where your presence carries weight, where your voice carries influence, where your story carries healing for others. The battles you survived were refining your authority. The wounds you healed were sharpening your compassion. The wisdom you gained was shaping your impact. Nothing you walked through was wasted. Every moment was training for a purpose that is finally beginning to breathe. If these words echo what your spirit has already been sensing, allow yourself to affirm it boldly in your heart. You are awakening, you are aligning, you are rising. Chosen one, there is a depth inside you that has been awakening, a depth you didn't fully realize was there until life pushed you into places where surface-level strength was no longer enough. You've discovered parts of yourself that only adversity could reveal. Courage that rises without permission, resilience that refuses to break, faith that grows even when everything around you is shaking. These qualities were not learned, they were uncovered. They were always in you, waiting for the precise moment when destiny required them. You may have wondered why you've been feeling more protective of your energy lately, why certain conversations exhaust you faster, why some environments feel spiritually heavy even when they look harmless. This isn't hypersensitivity. This is heightened discernment. Heaven is training your spirit to recognize what belongs in your next season and what cannot follow you there. You're learning to sense atmosphere, to detect intention, to read spiritual patterns beneath ordinary moments. This is an advanced level of awareness, and you're stepping into it naturally because your purpose demands it. There have been times recently when you paused mid-thought, feeling as if something or someone was trying to get your attention. A pull in your chest, a gentle nudge in your spirit, a sudden stillness settling over you like a cloak. These moments were not random. They were divine signals, heaven's way of slowing your steps so you don't miss what is being prepared for you. When God begins aligning a chosen one for elevation, He interrupts their rhythms, not to confuse them, but to fine-tune their sensitivity to His timing. And chosen one, think about how often your mind has returned to certain dreams or visions, ideas that seemed impossible once, but now feel strangely attainable. You've been circling the same thoughts not because you're obsessive, but because your spirit recognizes truth before your circumstances validate it. Destiny often manifests as a recurring vision long before it becomes a physical reality. What your heart keeps revisiting is a preview of what heaven is building. You may have also noticed an unusual acceleration in your thinking. Creative ideas coming faster than you can write them down, strategies appearing seemingly out of nowhere, solutions dropping into your mind in seconds. This mental expansion is a sign that God is enlarging your capacity. You're not just preparing for change, you're being shaped to steward abundance. He is stretching your intellect, refining your focus, sharpening your instincts. You are becoming someone who sees beyond obstacles, who interprets challenges as invitations, who recognizes opportunities even when they're disguised as problems. And beloved, let's speak to the sudden emotional clarity that has washed over you in unexpected moments. There were days when you felt an unexplainable calm, not because the situation changed, but because you changed. That calm was not resignation. It was revelation. Heaven was reminding you that peace is not the absence of battle, but the presence of divine alignment. You are learning to stand firm even when answers are hidden, to trust even when footsteps are uncertain, to believe even when timelines feel fragile. This is spiritual maturity taking root. You've also been noticing the way certain habits or distractions simply no longer interest you. Old patterns that once pulled you in now feel hollow. It's not that you lost interest, it's that you evolved. God has been detoxing your spirit from anything that keeps you small, anything that feeds insecurity, anything that numbs rather than nourishes. Your appetite is changing because your anointing is changing. You're growing into someone who requires purpose, not entertainment, alignment, not attention, truth, not noise. And chosen one, perhaps the most powerful sign of all is this. Your spirit has begun to anticipate something greater without knowing what that greater is. It feels like standing before a door you can't yet see, sensing the weight of something holy on the other side. This anticipation is not anxiety. It is recognition. Heaven is preparing to unfold something that has been waiting for the right moment to emerge. You're approaching a threshold where everything shifts, not as a sudden explosion, but as a revelation quietly rising from within. Your journey has been leading you here. Every test, every silence, every heartbreak, every closed door, every awakening, all threads in a divine design that has been guiding your steps even when you thought you were lost. Chosen one, if something inside you is expanding as these words reach you, if your spirit feels seen, understood, or stirred, trust it. That recognition is your confirmation. Chosen one, there is a profound unveiling happening inside you, and the shifts you've been noticing are not fragments of coincidence, but evidence of a divine recalibration reshaping every layer of your being. You've begun catching glimpses of yourself that feel unfamiliar yet authentic. Strength you didn't know you possessed, wisdom emerging without effort, a quiet authority settling into your voice. These changes are not random. They are the first signs of identity aligning with purpose. You may have felt moments recently where time seemed to slow down around you, where the world moved at its usual pace, but your awareness deepened beyond it. Colors looked sharper, sounds felt clearer, silence carried meaning. Your spirit has been tuning into details that others overlook because heaven has shifted you from survival mode into spiritual sensitivity. This heightened perception is a gift, chosen one. It means you are no longer walking through life blindly. You're moving with an awakened spirit that interprets not just what is seen, but what is orchestrated in the unseen. There have also been unexpected waves of memory rising to the surface. The faces of people you no longer speak to, choices you once doubted, seasons you thought were irrelevant. These memories aren't returning to wound you, they're returning to release you. God often brings the past back into view not to shame you, but to show you how far you've come, to sever the last emotional strings tying you to old chapters, and to free your spirit from attachments that no longer match where you're going. Healing sometimes looks like remembering without hurting. And chosen one, consider how you've begun gravitating toward truth even when it's uncomfortable. The clarity you once ran from is now the clarity you crave. Your soul refuses to settle for illusions, excuses, or half-light anymore. You're drawn to authenticity like breath, because heaven has been cultivating in you the kind of strength that flourishes only when rooted in truth. This shift toward transparency is not by chance. It is preparation for influence. Those who carry light must walk in truth, and God has been aligning your character with the magnitude of your calling. You've also started feeling drawn to solitude in a way you didn't before. Not loneliness, but intentional solitude. Moments where you feel compelled to disconnect, to breathe, to sit with your own spirit without distraction. This pull is heaven knocking gently on the door of your consciousness, drawing you into deeper fellowship, deeper listening, deeper alignment. God reveals the next layer of purpose in stillness, not in noise. And your spirit has begun recognizing that every time you step into quiet, a new layer of clarity descends upon you like morning dew. There is another sign rising in your life, the increasing discomfort with anything that contradicts your peace. When someone carries chaotic energy, you feel it instantly. When a situation disrupts your alignment, your spirit alerts you before your mind understands why. This inner alarm is not anxiety. It is protection. Heaven is guarding your atmosphere, because the assignment forming in front of you cannot grow in polluted environments. Peace is no longer a luxury for you. It is a requirement. Your purpose demands a clean spiritual ecosystem. Chosen one, you have also been feeling a shift in your sense of timing. You're no longer rushing. You're no longer grasping. You're no longer trying to force doors open. Instead, you've started moving with a rhythm that feels guided, soft, steady, patient. This new pace is alignment with divine timing. God has been teaching you that not everything delayed is denied, and not everything immediate is blessed. You're learning to walk in step with heaven's calendar, and because of that, your spirit no longer panics when circumstances don't match your expectations. You've begun trusting the unseen as much as the seen. You may have noticed that certain opportunities are resurfacing. Ideas you abandoned long ago, dreams you tucked away out of fear, passions that felt dormant. They're returning because the version of you that exists now is finally mature enough to steward what your younger self couldn't. God never wastes a dream. He preserves it until the vessel is ready. And chosen one, readiness has been forming in you quietly, layer by layer. And beloved, perhaps the most telling sign of all has been the way your heart has begun yearning for alignment more than achievement. You're no longer driven by the desire to prove anything to anyone. You're driven by the desire to become what God intended. This inward shift marks the beginning of true destiny. The chosen do not chase recognition, they chase purpose. And the moment your spirit began valuing alignment over approval, heaven began accelerating everything connected to your calling. If your heart feels stirred as you read these words, if your spirit feels illuminated, it is because you are awakening to who you truly are. Chosen one, you have stepped into a dimension of transformation so profound that even your silence has begun to speak. You felt it, those moments when you sit quietly, and instead of feeling empty, you feel full. Full of knowing, full of expectation, full of a presence that steadies you from the inside out. This fullness is not temporary emotion, it is spiritual saturation. Heaven has been pouring into you in ways that words cannot capture, shaping you into someone whose very existence testifies to divine purpose. You've begun noticing how your reactions have matured. Situations that once ignited anger now stir reflection.